Turn this down. And hopefully you can see me in that camera. Good. Go ahead and give us a brief introduction on yourself, my friend.
John Wagner's the name. Comedy is what I've been doing for a few years now.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here in your town of Hutchinson. Thanks for having me.
In the great salt city of Hutchinson, Kansas, doing comedy.
The city of 1,000 lakes, right?
I don't know. I always thought it was a steel city, but apparently not. But
yeah, no.
That's Pittsburgh, I think. I don't know.
Oh.
You're the comedian, so.
It's funny enough, I have never shown in Pittsburgh. I don't know if you knew that. It's funny.
Now, tell us a little bit about your comedy.
I don't like to throw it around, but I do kind of alternative Andy Kaufman-like material.
Okay.
Kind of off the cuff, not sure what's about to happen, a lot of dead space or a lot of set up by not talking. But I like to say I don't like to say that because it's kind of pompous, I think, to say something like that. Say you're as good as one of the funniest people ever.
Yes. So how'd you get started doing comedy?
I dropped out of college and I was still had that drive to do something, but I wasn't going to be in school. I tried that. So I had to do some sort of outlet. Comedy was, I always knew, was an outlet to do. Tried it out and loved it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I noticed you have an instrument with you.
I do have a guitar.
Why do you have it? Are you doing like Adam Sandler type stuff, or what the hell are you doing?
That is a great, I do that. The reason I brought it is we do a two-man part with Patrick Moore.
That's cool.
Michael, kind of based off like a Michael Showalter bit where he does something with Zach R.
That's
really
cool.
Funny.
Well, who are some of your influences?
Michael Showalter is a good one. I love everybody, so I can kind of go with who I recently listened to. Wyatt Cenac's a really funny guy. I love him. Rory Scovel is a really funny guy.
That's cool.
Really kind of blew my mind when I just realized he just talk to the audience like they're idiots.
That's cool.
And then Hannibal Burris is a really funny guy. Maria Bamford's a really funny lady. Kind of just off the walls. Tig Notaro's the same way. Just kind of off the walls. I like that, just off the walls alternative comedy. Mark Maron's, all of his podcasts are great. Kind of just, that's something else I try to take from the moment and put it into the comedy. I think that helps a lot. Everyone's a part of it when that happens. It's a lot.
How do we find you online?
The usual Facebook and Twitter right now. I'm working on a website, but that takes a little bit, I guess.
Cool stuff. Well, thanks for being with us, man. I appreciate it.
Of course, thank you.
Definitely, man. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Where am I sitting? Right here?
Slide in there, yes.
All right.
Slide in there. We will get going and do a little shenanigans. There's my card, by the way.
Nice fun.
Okay. Well, go ahead and give us a brief introduction on yourself, my friend.
My name is Patrick Moore.
Okay.
That's what people like to call me. I'm from Kansas City, and I do stand-up comedy.
That's cool.
What else do you want to know?
Well, tell us a little bit about some of your influences and.
My influences, like comedic influences? Sure.
Yes.
Growing up, big fan of George Carlin. That's kind of the first guy I watched with my dad.
That's cool.
Because my parents had gotten divorced, and so my dad would show me a bunch of stuff that my mom wouldn't want me to watch. I think probably despite her in some way, but it rubbed off and it worked out. So I'd watch Dennis Miller, George Carlin. Really just George Carlin, because that was kind of beginning days of HBO when all they did was play comedy specials all the time.
Yeah.
So I watched every George Carlin special and I loved it.
That's cool.
more like nowadays, like when I went to KU, like listening to like Mark Maron's podcast.
Yeah.
That was a big influence. Big fan of his comedy. Yeah, those are probably my two guys.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, take me through some of the routine tonight. What are you going to be doing this evening as far as different topics
you're gonna
or
have to
anything?
wait and watch the show.
Okay.
Obviously. But it's mainly stuff about me, and I've got some observations that I'll probably hit on a little bit.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that'll be the show. Yeah.
So, how do you use social media with your comedy?
Well, I mean, I'm on all of them: Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah.
I have a podcast. We post that on Tumblr.
That's cool.
ZachandPacho.tumblr.com. That's the website.
So, who do you do your
Another
podcast?
Comedian. His name is Zach Smith. Also.
He's
been here before.
He has been here. He almost caused a riot, from what I heard.
From what I understand, his name is it's carried on here. People are familiar with.
They have a Hall of Fame somewhere.
Yeah, people knows that kid.
So, what do you guys do on your podcast?
We generally, it's just Zach and I, and we'll talk to a comedian for like an hour and a half, couple hours, kind of.
That's cool.
Talk about stuff. Sometimes they have an idea of like a topic they want to cover. So yeah, sometimes we talk about topics, and then we just talk about comedy, that kind of stuff. Yeah,
That's cool.
It's pretty fun. Yeah,
That's cool.
We like it.
Now, you're out on the road. Where do you go this next couple weeks? For what's your next show after tonight?
The next show after tonight, I'm not real sure. I've got some coming up. I'm excited about. I just found out I'm going to do a show like on April 20th, so 420.
That's cool.
At 420 in the afternoon at this place in the Jazz House in Lawrence, Kansas, where people have been known to enjoy marijuana.
That's right.
I think I can go out on a limb here and say that they do that in Lawrence, Kansas.
Okay.
So that should be a fun show. I'm excited about that.
That's cool.
Yeah, but there's some stuff coming up. I have a website, morelaughs.com. MOORE laughs.com. So yeah, you can find my shows there.
Well, looking forward to seeing you tonight, my
Should
friend.
be a fun time. I appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for coming up.
Definitely. And before we let you go, how do we find you on Twitter and Facebook and all that?
Twitter is at Patrick Moore, RIP. And there's a link to my Facebook and stuff on there. So
That's cool.
Find me there.
All right, brother. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Well, we'll grab the. How many damn comedians are here? Jesus Christ. Slide on in here. It's like, oh, okay, that's fine. It's like a night of 1,000 laughs. 55 million comedians here. It's fantastic. Here's my card, by the way.
How's it going, man? What's your name?
Pretty good, actually. Jiggy Jag.
Jiggy Jag. Madden.
Okay. Go ahead and give us a brief introduction on yourself, my friend.
My name's Adam Maxwell. I'm a comedian from Kansas City. That's it. Anything else?
That's it. Quickest interview ever. There you go. Tell us a little bit about your influences and everything for comedy.
Everything really. George Carlin, probably Richard Pryor. I used to watch some old school stuff, newer stuff. Dave Chappelle, Mitch Hedberg. I enjoy everybody. Just watching. I like to think I'm a student of the craft.
That's cool.
But I can get something from everybody. You know what I mean? Being a performer, everybody's got their audience. Even the puppet guys I can watch and learn something.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
So when did you start doing comedy?
I've been after this a while, so probably 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, off and on. Probably not hitting it as hard as I should.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
You've got your adoring public. Now, we ask all the comics this question. I'm always interested to see what their reaction is. Is there such a thing as a bad crowd, or is it a bad set on your part? Because we've heard different comics say, "Oh, there's no such thing as a bad room if you can't."
There's always an excuse when you need one, really. But comedy's a lot about energy, I would say. So if you come out and you give them something and you think they're going to react differently, and you go downhill, then they're going to go way downhill. You know what I mean? It's all about just staying the course. If you feel like a crowd isn't very into it, I would stick to your old stuff that you know is going to work. You know what I mean? So you can kind of play with that.
How often after you've written a new bit or joke or anything do you work that into regular?
Oh yeah, I'm usually excited when I have something new. So in Kansas City right now, there's probably a chance to get on stage every night of the week. So if I think of something funny, I'm going to go out and try it. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that's going to be the tell-all. You know what I mean? Like if it goes out, I go out and it bombs, and it could just be a bad crowd. No.
Yeah. That's right.
You can try it that night if you want, but you know what I mean? Stick with it. At least give it a couple of chances before you throw it away.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, social media. How do we find you on social media?
I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I don't mess with any of the new stuff. I have a joke about Pinterest, but that's it. That's as far as I go.
Okay.
I'm kind of behind. These guys are a little bit younger than me. They know everything. I mean, they're saying stuff I have no idea. Snapchats, the Tinders.
I know.
I have no idea.
Like, what
does that mean?
Yes, right.
You take a picture and then it goes away. That's stupid. Why would we do that? And someone, well, look at my breakfast.
Yeah. There you go. It's gone in 30 seconds. There's no trace of it, ever.
I know what I had for breakfast.
That's right. Now, you got a website or anything where people can get in touch with you?
the website out. Yes, thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
It's going to be...
I like that Snapchat line, so go ahead.
AdamMaxwell.com. I think I'm going to have an underscore after that because there's some other Adam Maxwells out there, but I haven't launched it yet. So you can find me on Facebook, Twitter. I'm at Adam Maxwell. It's pretty easy.
That's cool. Well, thank you, sir.
Thanks very much.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate
Definitely. There's just like a million comics here this evening. All right. There you go. Well, go ahead and give us a brief introduction on yourself, my friend.
My name is Dennis Cheney. Where am I talking, by the way? At that
Here
microphone?
or me, whichever.
Right. My name
Doesn't
is
matter.
Dennis Cheney. I am a Kansas City comedian. I'm hosting the show tonight with Patrick Moore and Wes Van Horn.
That's cool. So, hosting comedy versus being a comedy in the regular rotation, what's that like?
Hosting is awful. You gotta walk up there and you got to make it a show out of a group of people, right? So you go up and you'd think this sounds ridiculous, but it's not, because you walk into a restaurant per se, start doing comedy, like nobody's gonna listen to you. Like maybe if you walked in and started playing music, someone would listen to you. I'm like looking at you and trying to talk at the microphone.
No,
maybe
go
if you
ahead,
like
wherever you want to
walk
go.
in and start playing music, some people will be like, you walk in and start doing comedy, people are gonna be like, shut up, you know. So that's what you're doing here, except for people have forewarning. But what you don't realize is there's like this back of your brain thing that tells you you're either in a group or not. So like my job will be to make them a group.
Okay.
And hosting's not like a thing. Like nobody's like, I'm a host. Like I'm a host comedian. It's not a thing.
Well,
It's just
believe
like you
me,
get asked to do
there
it.
have been other host comedians at this very venue.
They'll be like, I'm a host.
That's their thing. They're really proud of that. Won't say any names, James Davis, but we won't say it, I guess.
Awesome.
Now, how have you used social media with your comedy?
How have I used social media?
Yes.
I do sketches with one of my best friends. We went to Second City. His name's Jason Hayfley. We're called the Pencil Pushers. We do YouTube stuff. We got stuff on Facebook.
That's
I want a website. I need to do a website, but I actually have a video that's going to be filmed to add to the website and actually start booking stuff in March. So that's going to be March. But we do sketches already, and we got a daily thing coming out called Footnotes of History. And I'm on a podcast, the Patrick Ryan podcast, which is on iTunes. And that's all my social media stuff. But I don't have a website or anything yet.
You don't have the website, but you got everything
I have
else.
a Twitter. I think I have like 50 tweets. I need to tweet more.
You need to tweet more.
Yeah.
Now, we ask comics all the time, is there such a thing as a bad room? Or
Yes.
a bad set? Because we've had various, especially comics out of Kansas City, it's been 50-50.
People have said there's no such thing.
No such thing as a bad room. It's your job to get up there, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, okay.
And then we've heard various other people go, oh, yeah, there is such a thing as a bad room. And you just
you're talking about, is it always on you or is it sometimes on them?
Yeah.
90% of the time it's on you. Like I said about the creating the audience thing, that's something you got to do, and that's hard. And sometimes nobody does it. Yeah. Sometimes you fail, and then it's too late. But I've had some pretty bad rooms. I had a room for a Toys for Tots show in Kansas City around Christmas time, and there was a guy down front who was an investment banker, and he kept yelling, "Can I say pussy?"
Go ahead.
Right.
You just did, brother.
He kept saying, no matter what anyone did, he kept going, "Talk about pussy." And a couple people would try to do pussy jokes, but like that's not. It's like he wanted you to literally stand there and talk about pussy, and like he was like the boss of this investment banker group who was like taking over this bar. So nobody could turn against it. Bad rooms exist. Nobody can deny that. Most of the time when people say it's a bad room, though, it's them. But they exist. Talk about pussy guy who's the boss of the investment bank, which is 90% of the audience, and nobody can shut him up. That's a bad room.
That's a bad
room. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
People tried to appease him. People yell at him. I tried to talk to him. I tried to walk up. I walked up to him afterwards, and I was like, "Hey, buddy." Like, I didn't say, "Hey, buddy." That's not like I'm going to fight him. I'm like, "Hey, man," and he goes, "Oh, you're really funny." And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool, but here's the deal. I got a couple really good friends coming up next, and they're really funny. So can you, like, quiet down because they got some jokes and people need to, like, hear them?" And he's like, "Oh, well, I'm from New York, so what I do is I interrupt people." And I'm like, "Fuck you. Dude, I've lived in New York for like 4 years. Like, that is not a thing. Most people from New York are very polite, so stop trying to use that as an excuse for like your personality disorder." And then he walked by me, and I'm getting into like this weird personal conversation. He walked by me in a way that he like "Let's go, buddy." Like he's like, "Oh, I gotta go outside and smoke." Boom, elbow, to my chest, and I just had to ignore it. Because there was a Marine there, because it's Toys for Tots. I knew that guy would break it up.
That guy would break it up. So how do you deal with hecklers?
How do you deal with them?
Yeah, how do you deal with it?
A lot of people deal with them in a lot of different ways. Some people freak out, and I feel like sometimes when they freak out on them, like, "Oh my god," I feel like that's like because there's a lot of YouTube stuff of people freaking out on people. But I've seen that backfire. I've seen people freak out and be like, "Shut the F up," and they freak, and it just ends up making you look like a psycho. Because a lot of times the heckler's down front, and no one else can hear them. Right? So you just look like a nutcase because you're like, "Shut up!" Like nobody knows what you're talking about. I usually you
don't want to do a Michael Richards.
I usually just say, "Hey, I hear you. Like this guy's talking down here," or you try to make fun of it. Like this guy just said blah blah. Because a lot of times hecklers are drunk, so they're saying dumb stuff. So I feel like the best way, and I've seen like actual professional comedians do it, the best way to handle a heckler is you repeat what they say, which is always ridiculous, and make fun of it. And that way other people can laugh, and then eventually, that's the best way to humiliate someone. You don't just flip out or ignore them.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Now, where are you appearing here pretty soon in the next couple weeks or so?
Where am I appearing?
Yeah, are you going to be doing anything?
Wednesday, which is February 6th, I'll be at the Improv in Kansas City for the Clash of the Comics.
That's cool.
I am at Uptown Arts Bar on 39th and Broadway about every Monday. I'm going to be doing a show at K-State in Manhattan, Kansas.
Wow.
The third Friday of February. I'm not sure what that is right now.
Yeah.
And that's all I can think of. I'll be in Lawrence, Kansas. Whatever, add me on Facebook. Add me on Facebook. I got posters up.
There you go.
Most of the time, like 2 days before a show, somebody will call me. They go, "Oh, you still in for this?" I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, okay, that's the way I operate. I don't have a calendar or anything.
You need management.
I apparently do. That's my whole life, though. Like my whole life, when I go to my regular job, when I do anything, I'm like, I need a secretary. But like, I make what a secretary makes, if not less. So maybe I can get like a slave. That's terrible. That's what I'd have to do.
It is Kansas.
I need someone to run my life.
They are behind the times on certain things. So
yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you, sir.
Hey, thank you.
It's a great interview. Thank you, sir.
All right, you want me to get Wes?
Yes, go grab Mr. Van Horn, and we'll make it happen.